What's going on, guys? So I want to come out here today and show you my 2006 Harley Davidson Electra Glide Standard. It was an old police bike. Bought it 2 years ago from the dealership, and it was this hideous looking antique white. I'm talking like as old as white could look. That's what this bike looked like. So I rode it like that for the first year, and then decided that I wanted to change it and make it actually look better. So I took it all, stripped it down over the winter, took it out, had it painted, and just told the dude, paint it black. This was the second bike that I've owned in my lifetime. The very first one I bought was a Yamaha Bolt. It's the equivalent for you Harley guys is just like the 883 Iron is probably its closest competitor. It was a fun little bike to ride. It was cheap. It was inexpensive. I think out the door, brand new, I paid like $6,500, $7,000 for it, somewhere around there. It was just a leftover one, and it was fun to ride. But so then I thought that I needed to upgrade to something a little bit bigger. Well, I went a whole hell of a lot bigger. I went to a dealership initially looking at a wide glide. Just decided that saw this thing and thought, you know what? Hey, I need a big old freaking touring bike. I need a giant fairing up front, and I'm gonna ride this thing 50 miles to work each and every day on the highway, and it's gonna be great. I don't ride to work. Half the time I have too much shit I gotta take with me to work, and I just didn't ride, and I still don't ride this bike that much. It's fun, but you know, I'll get into the pros and cons here. But let's just go for a short little ride. Man, they got doing a lot of construction on this road up here. Just don't want to go too fast. It's just gravel like crazy. You know, as far as a touring bike goes, this is definitely on the less comfortable end, I will say. Just, I mean, if there is a more comfortable end. I mean, what I mean by that is it doesn't have the big old tour pack on back for a second rider. I don't have the wind guards that you can put down here, and the extra little wind screens here, and just, you know, it's set up for going on real long hauls. So as a touring bike, you know, the Electra Glide Standard is basically just that. It's your standard model for touring bikes. But the great thing about this bike is this is a bike that you get on and go. This is a bike you plan on putting miles on. You jump on this thing and you ride from here to freaking Florida if you want to, and you're not going to be beat up as bad as you were as if you were on on just a regular cruiser or a sport bike. So with that being said, that's also my number one dislike on this bike. It's not a dislike on the design aspect of it, dislike on the fact that I don't go on extremely long rides. I don't take this thing and say I'm gonna go ride over to freaking Ohio or down to Virginia or down the coast. One, I don't have time to do that, and two, that's not what I do. So the dislike is the fun factor and the intent of having this motorcycle. Yes, I have a Harley. Cool, I can call myself a hog owner, and I can hang out with the hog guys and cut my sleeves off and wear leathers and join a biker club, because it's not a gang, it's a club, and that's what it's for. This is a bike for going on a long ride. Matter of fact, my one buddy at work puts it best. This is a retirement bike. These type of bikes, tourings, are for whenever you just want to ride for the rest of your life. Like, all you want to do is go on long trips, and you want to take your Harley motorcycle because that's what you choose. My second dislike with this bike, and this one actually kind of starts to annoy you after a lot of stop and go is the vibration. This bike vibrates so bad that it'll make your freaking head rattle. It literally, if I'm sitting too long in the light, nose will start vibrating. Like, it'll start itching because it's been vibrating so bad, and the whole time your arms are shaking and you just feel like, you know, you're sitting on one of those vibrant chairs that's just rolling around, but it's not in a good way. It makes your ass go numb. These bikes vibrate whenever they're not at speed or you're just sitting at an idle somewhere. You know, it feels like they feel like they're going to vibrate apart almost on you. But other than that, I mean, that's it. This bike is a big V-twin, and it's just one of those bikes that, you know, you just cruise on, you just relax. Getting on this thing, sitting on this seat, and this isn't even one of the most comfortable seats, but I can ride on this bike for a couple hours, two maybe 3 hours, and I don't get sore. And it's not even the most comfortable seat. This is just a Mustang seat. Actually, I think it's Harley's version of what a Mustang seat would be like. And there are guys out there that buy these big freaking pillow top. They look like, take your couch cushion off, take it out to your bike, strap it on, and that's what the fuck they have that they sit on. And I mean, they look goofy as hell, but those are also your guys that are putting long miles and doing long trips on this type of bike. You know, it's comfortable. This is a bike that I can honestly say that I bought probably about 10 years before I was ready for it. I should have either just stuck with a cruiser or moved into whatever, you know, what, like the Yamaha, the FZ that I have now, that's more fun to ride, especially on roads like this around here. The bike responds to you a lot better, the FZ that is. This thing you have to you got to think about your turn. You got to go into these long sweeping leans, and you see the turn coming, you get your lean, but you can't even lean too far over because the ground clearance just isn't the same. I mean, you got these big old foot pegs out, and you know, so you're definitely not going to go hard like you can with a sport bike, that's for sure. And traffic. Oh, is that your driveway? Sweet. Getting on this bike after I've been on my FZ for a while, it takes me a bit to get used to. The FZ, very light, very quick, easily able to be controlled with, you know, over the handlebars, and just throwing the bike down into a turn and fun. And then I get on this, and real quick I think, holy shit, this thing it's a beast. It's heavy as hell, and it takes me a minute to get used to my riding position and how I can ride and my maneuverability. I mean, the weight alone is separated by a few hundred pounds, and obviously I don't know it off the top of my head, and I'll probably just end up throwing it up there to show you the difference in what the weight is. But I haven't ever laid this bike down, but walking it out of my garage one day, the driveway was wet. My right foot slipped and I kind of went forward, and when I did go forward, this thing just kind of turned and it laid down on its side. It laid down right here on its engine guard and on the guard on the back, like it's supposed to, like they're designed to, and it just kind of lays there and it teeter-totters. I'm like, fuck, I gotta pick this thing up now. So me thinking, all right, yeah, you know, hey, I'm pretty strong, I'll just reach down, grab by the handlebars and stand it up. Nope, fuck no, I almost gave myself a hernia trying to do that. You know, I had to go with the way that they teach you when you drop your bike, to put my back towards the tank, squat down, put my arm around the handlebars and use my legs and pick it up. I mean, it's a heavy pig. And I'll never get stuck at lights because it's heavy enough that it'll actually trigger the sensors. On my FZ, I'll have to turn around and wave people forward to get up on the pad, so that way I can change the light. It is nice having this fairing, especially when you get on the highway speeds, because you're not taking all of that wind into your chest and into your face. And if I were to actually put a different windscreen on, Clockworks or one of those other ones that has an upward turn to it that would actually put the air a little bit more up before it comes back, I would feel nothing at all. With this windscreen right here, I feel it at the very top of my head, and actually whenever I start riding, it sounds like it's slapping off my helmet. But you're not getting beat up from the wind, and that's a huge plus. And that's why, again, the touring bike, they're made to go on long ass rides. But I think the time's coming that I'm probably gonna unload this thing, and yeah, maybe in a few years again down the road I'll consider jumping back onto a touring model, but right now it's just it doesn't have the fun factor that I really enjoy riding on a daily basis. This bike's not getting the use that it should, and it's definitely something that I don't regret owning, but I definitely should have just waited a few years before I decided to go ahead and throw some money at a big old V-twin touring bike. So, unfortunately, it's about time to head back home. I gotta go get ready for work. The other thing with this bike, when you get up in the highway speeds and start cruising, it has no problem keeping up and moving. But the 2006 models still had a 5-speed transmission, and this thing desperately needs a 6th gear. I'll get up in I'm in 5th gear right now, and you know, I'm cruising along pretty good. But a 6th gear would just give you that nice, that overdrive, that real sit back and cruise feeling that you could get. So, and now obviously that's why Harley changed them, and now all of their Electra Glides, Street Glides come with 6-speed. But all in all, a good bike. Definitely have a lot of fun on it, but just not the fun that I have on my FC. And yeah, it's a retirement bike that I got 10 years too early. I'm almost home, so catch you guys again later.